Hello, good morning. It's Madhukam students. Today I'm going to discuss about the business etiquette. Etiquette defined as the terms, manners, ceremonies established by convention as acceptable or required in the social relation, in the profession, or in the official life. Time change and this affect the guidelines of the etiquette. Common sense will typically be your best guide, but it is helpful to have some general ideas regarding business etiquette. So business etiquette means forms, manners, ceremonies which is accepted by the social relation. So now we will discuss the how some of the business etiquette are as follows. सबसे पहले आता है टेलीफोन. Telephone manners are very important and have definite purpose of calling someone because telephone calls are intrusion into their busy day that uh, identify that yourself and speak clearly to the phone. Never chew gum, eat, drink, or smoke using the telephone. This is a very simple thing. When you are speaking something to someone else, that which are the telephone manners, don't chew something or chew the chewing gum or eat or something, drink or smoke while you are using telephone. Then second point is voicemail. Answering the machine. The voicemail wisely and efficiently always have the consent and the professional rating on your answering machine. Voicemail. That voicemail is the most efficient if you leave concise but detailed message. Many times the person receiving the call will be able to get the information you need. I'll leave that in the rest call or the message. Voicemail means answering machine means whenever you are going to use the voicemail, that at least give the proper detail and the concise detail. So at least the person can understand in a much better way. Then next point is punctuality. Be on the time, yes. That punctuality is more important in every sector or in every field. That how we are working, it is more important. If it is an unavoidable delay, then contact the person. Keep in the mind you never know when you will encounter the traffic, wrecks, constructions, or other delays. Okay, so sometimes it happens that we are punctual. That some for some reasons we are not punctual at the time, but there are maybe some reasons. So inform the other person. Then next point is office parties. Office parties are the good opportunities to improve the moral and the build goodwill. Keep in the mind that these people are see you every day and they will remember lapse in the behavior. Be aware of the alcoholic consumption and do not embarrass yourself. Do not disturb the business and this is the social occasion and an opportunity to learn more about the co-workers. Remember three words that are too often neglected in the business. Please, thank you, and well done. Social skill can help us build more productive relationships. In this changing time, one needs to prepare for the variety of contests in the both business and the social environment. So here we can understand that what is the social party? Social party is not for consumption, alcoholic or something like that, but it is going to build up the good relation between the employee and the owner. So when you are when you are going to drink alcohol too much, then it is going to impact your personality. So social skills help us to build up the more productive relation. Then now we will say how to speak and what to speak. Introduction. The correct form. The word present is preferable on the form occasion and the word introduced. On the informal occasion, neither word is expressed, though understood. Mrs. Rai, may I present Mr. Gupta or Mrs. Distinguished, may I present Mr. Young? So at least you can understand in a much better way. The younger person is always presented to the older or the more distinguished, but the gentleman is always presented to lady, and even though he is an old man of the great distinction, and the lady made mere slip of the girl. In the briefer form of the introduction, commonly Mrs. Rai, Mrs. Sen. So these are the some most probably we listen that gentlemen or gentle ladies. Okay, but uh, in spite of that, we can call that particular for that by their surname. If the two names are said in the same tone of voice, it is not apparent who is introduced to whom, but by accentuating the more important person's name, it can be made as clear as though the words near present had been used. Okay, so if the tone is the same, to continue or to um, introducing that two person, then we can't recognize. But here it is written that Mrs. Ryan, do you know Mrs. Sen or Mrs. Sharma? You know Mrs. Robinson, don't you? So this is how to speak. Now we will see that these are the all good forms, and whether the gentlemen are introduced to the ladies, ladies to the ladies, or gentlemen to the gentlemen. In introducing the gentleman to the lady, you may ask Mr. Patel if he has left he has met Mrs. Sharma, but you must not ask Mrs. Sharma if she has met Mr. Patel. So this is how we can speak. The forms of introduction to our. Do not say Mr. Sharma, shake hands, Mr. Patel, and Mr. Patel. Never say make you acquainted with. Do not introducing one person to another. Call one of them my friend, and you can say that my aunt, my sister, my cousin. So, but pick up the particular person. My friend is not only the bad style, but unless you have to only one friend and bad manners, and it is implies Mr. Sharma is my friend and you are stranger. So this is how we have to speak. This is a very simple thing that I'm going to discuss here. Now we will see. You may very properly say to Mr. Patel, I want you meet Mrs. Sharma, but not form of the introduction, nor it is to be said Mrs. Sharma's hearing. Upon lead Mr. Patel up to Mrs. Sharma, you say Mrs. Sharma, I represent Mr. Patel. Mrs. Sharma, Mr. Patel. Under the circumstances, whoever or whatever say Mr. Patel, Mrs. Sharma, and Mrs. Sharma meet Mr. Patel, either wording is equal prosperous. So this is how we are going to speak. That when you are introducing something, whether you have to know that whether this person is very too much what we can say that too much uh, near one or not. So that is the reason. This is how we are going to say. Now we will say when shake hands. That we most probably know that how to shake hands, but sometimes our confidence level and what we can say that our confidence level and when you shake the hand, your confidence level is seen that whether you are confident or diffident. Now we will see that most probably we know that how to what we can say that how to shake hands. But you think that as a student, you think that what is the main or what is the purpose behind it, how to shake hands. But these are the manners which are going to represent something else. Now we will see that when gentlemen are introduced to each other, they always shake hands. Yes, and when gentleman is introduced to lady, she sometimes put out her hand, especially if he is someone she has long heard about from friends in the common, but not entire strange. She generally merely bows her head and slightly says, "How do you?" strictly speaking, and uh, it is it is speaking. It is always her place to offer her hand, and or not as she chooses, but she puts out his hand. He puts out his hand. It is rude on her part or to ignore her. Nothing could be Nothing could be more ill-bred than to treat curtly any overture made in the spontaneous friendliness. No thoroughbred lady would ever refuse, ever, ever refuse, ever refuse. Thoroughbred, the lady who never refused shake any hand in the honorable or not even the hand of fall heavy and any at the risk of fresh white clothes. So here we can say that what is the reason behind it, or what we can say that um, um, when you shake hand, okay, suppose someone else introduce him or her before meeting you that person, then you shake your hand very lightly or something like that. This is very simple thing, and you choose, or sometimes you will choose that whether I have to shake hands or not. Now we will see that. Now we will see the next one. What to say when introduced? Only one phrase in the acknowledgement of introduction. How do you do? Literally accept no other. Yes. When you are going to ask someone to introduce this, that how do you do? Taking leave of one you have just met. After an introduction, when you have to talk for some time to the stranger whom you would found agreeable, and then you take the leave. You say goodbye. I am very glad to meet you. Goodbye. I shall see, I shall see you again soon or sometime. The other person's answer, thank you, perhaps add, I hope so too. Usually thank you isn't necessary. So when you are going to leave someone else at the time, that what you have to say, goodbye, I'm very glad to meet you, and goodbye, I hope I shall see you again soon. So these are the very simple things. Now the conversation. That ideal conversation should be matter of equal give and take. Yes. Think before you speak. That is the most important thing. Nearly all faults and mistakes in the conversation caused by not thinking. For instance, first rule of behavior in the society, try to do and say those things only which will be agreeable to the others. Then next point is strike the balance. The people who talk too easily are apt to talk too much at the times imprudently, and those with the vivid imagination are often unreliable in this statement. On the other hand, the man of silence who never speaks except when he has something worthwhile to say is apt to work well among his intimates, but it is not likely to add much gaiety of the party. So here we can see that two kind of personality we can see here. The person who talks too much easily with the other person, and the other person who never speaks something just worthwhile, and they have that means both of them have that any problem in their statement. Try not to repeat yourself. Try not to repeat yourself either by telling the same story again and again, or by going back over details of your narrative that seem especially to interest or amuse your hearers. And many things are of the interest when briefly told and for the first time. And Huh, this is the most important thing. You do not have to repeat the sentence, or you do not have to repeat the what we can say that your background again and again. Avoid argument. Be careful not to be let amiable discussion turn into the contradiction and argument. The tactful person keeps his prejudices to himself, and even when involved in the discussion says quietly, "I don't think I agree with you. It seems to be it seems to me thus and so. One who is well bred never says you are wrong. Nothing of kind. If he finds others' opinion utterly opposed to his own, he switches to another subject and the pleasant channel of the conversation. So the tactful person or the shrewd person never says you are wrong. He always says nothing of the kind. Or he will say, I don't no, I don't agree with you. I don't think so. I will agree with you. So these are the very simple things or these are simple words which impact the person as much as possible. You may very properly to say Mr. Patel. Okay, so this is our introduction. This is our what we can say. Uh, Unit number 3 is over.